something appeared this week that I think speaks to our current moment in a way that is profound and brought joy to me. I'm speaking, of course, about Wyatt Ingraham Koch.
Wyatt Koch.
He's great.
The chubby Koch son who...
The Francis Buxton of the Koch family.
Who I can't imagine a better avatar for the type
Chubby ginger.
for the person who stands to benefit immensely from
This is the man
tax
who
bill.
will gain tens of millions of dollars because of limitations placed on the estate tax.
So
as part
he
of this,
can fulfill his dreams.
it's like America was told point blanks to its face today: you will get sick, you will die, you will suffer harm because of what we just did. And why? Why is it necessary for you to do that? Why is it necessary for you to lose access to affordable health care or lose Medicare or Medicaid because of cuts that are built into this thing? Why does your child have a medieval disease that we thought people had gotten rid of, like scofflaw? Well, it's so that this fucking asshole can spend money to buy 10 million fucking Paisley ascots for his dogs.
Well, Wyatt Koch is the chubby Koch son, who's the son of not
Chuck or Dave.
Charles and David had a son together, and
They space docked and gave birth to this fancy boy.
it's Wyatt Ingraham Koch. He's the son of Will Koch, who
He's the one who built his own Western ghost town in Colorado that nobody could go into but
And
him and his friends,
he
where they all play dress up together.
He sired this fancy lad.
He's
Oh, can you imagine the times they've had together wearing chaps as they gallivant around their property?
Yeah, they have more in common than you would think. I bet they both know rope tricks.
Well, that's actually normal to me. That's like something a normal person would do if they had a shitload of money. I'm going to make my own Western amusement park only for me. All the other weirdos like Tom Conn or Paul Ride, they're just going to do boring bullshit with their money. This is actually cool.
Well, he inspired his kid.
He inspired his kid, who is now the CEO. Like I don't know how to describe it. He has a company that makes fat guy shirts.
Yeah.
But fancy fat guy
Yes.
shirts.
No, I mean, it's not even fancy. It's eccentric.
I think he
Well, you
doesn't
think
he say
it's
something about
fancy
how it's
'cause
like
you don't
fit
know
for the
what
boardroom or
fancy is.
something?
We will play audio from this.
I mean,
you
you say boardroom, I say, plea bargain that your dad secured after you poisoned a bunch of dogs. Sure.
My father said to me, Wyatt, you can do whatever you want to in life, but just make sure you do it well and you do it with passion. Every day I go to the office, I enjoy creating the clothes. I want my shirts to be able to be worn in the boardroom or in a discoteca or a nightclub or on a yacht.
He says boardroom because he fundamentally didn't go down that business track, and his idea of a boardroom was something out of a B-52's music video.
Yeah, but I also think he's just a guy who was a big fat dude who liked Hawaiian shirts, which, hey, as a guy who likes Hawaiian shirts, I totally get
I
that.
am shocked.
But one day he was just said, why can't I wear this everywhere? And it was like, because nobody's made one that was high class enough. And he was like, well, I found my job
He's
in life.
being
Dad,
the
can I
change
have
he wants to see in the world.
can I have $500 billion to do
What?
this? And his dad says, sure, we're just going to further immiserate the working and middle classes and just extract the last pull the fucking copper wiring and piping out of America so that I can melt it down and give you fucking fancy outfits.
One of them is covered in 8 balls and pool cues.
One of them is covered with bags of money.
What
One of them
makes
is a
these
shirt that just
shirts-
has money bags on it.
What makes these shirts acceptable in a business setting other than the marketing palaver?
Well, he
Depends
says,
on your business.
as he says in the video, and please play a clip of this. He says, "I view these shirts as being, something you can wear in the boardroom or at the discoteca." These are the shirts that you wear when you're a fat guy who wants to be described as a party animal and not a fat guy.
These, when you think about it, now thinking about Wyatt the shirt guy, the tax bill is kind of like the biggest Make-A-Wish ever. Because it's for every inbred foul son of people who invented new types of missiles and more efficient ways of dumping pollutants in rivers. And it's like, please, you don't understand. My son is very sick. He's incredibly stupid and shitty, and he can't do anything. I need I can't pay any taxes. I need to give my son his dream of making a shirt that somehow makes him look fatter.
I will give him this, though. This is a very well-trodden rich kid path where they're like, I'm going to be a designer.
Yeah.
And then they like clearly outsource the thing to someone with like a modicum of taste that knows how to imitate taste without actually being tasteful. I believe with my whole heart that he handpicks and designs every single one of these
for sure.
shirts.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
These are his children.
Well, as you saw in the video, the one thing that everyone like the scene of him sketching
Yes.
the design,
Like with a fucking crayon.
that has to be the album art.
it looks
Or
like
the episode art.
It looked like those the snowman Subway ads where it's like, Mr. Policeman, you could have found her.
Yeah.
The thing is, they make actual like sketchbooks that have the mail form already drawn out that you can draw on, and he's like, no, I'm gonna freehand it.
Yeah, how dare you
I
call
got
him
my Crayolas.
How dare you call him a lazy, rich, spoiled foul son? They gave him the template. He refused to use it. He's like, I will draw this barely recognizable shape of a man.
It's like a Thanksgiving turkey hand.
I'll draw a Thanksgiving turkey hand and put my birthday cake ass shirt on this guy.
Put my ravioli pudgy fingers up there.
This was actually I mentioned it on last week's show. This was actually the plot of the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Daniel Day-Lewis plays a guy who's so obsessed with making fashions for large gentlemen that feature printed fabrics featuring birthday cakes, toucans, and bank vaults, and then sewing elastic onto like pleated Dockers khakis. That his world becomes upended by the introduction of a.
Honestly, it sucks that he is like global level bourgeoisie, because if he was even middle class, he would be a lovable John Waters character.
Yeah. If he didn't have his dad be like,
he
"Oh,
weren't using-
here you are, son. Here's some bolts of clothing. Here you are."
Yeah.
I mean, the reason he drew that and thought that was actually anything that could approximate like a design for a shirt that would be acceptable in the art world or in fashion is because he went to fashion school and his dad paid him to get A's like in fucking Billy Madison. And while he was drawing his forms, the teacher was literally just counting money and not even looking at him and saying, "Very good, Wyatt. Very
Yeah.
good job."
If this person had like, the confidence pounded out of them by reality like the rest of us, he might be awesome.
Yeah. But there's just
Well,
like
here's
the
the thing.
reason we all right.
As you can say,
Instead,
like,
we have to
as you
kill
said
our
about-
beautiful boy.
So I'm sorry, Wyatt. But
Sorry.
I'm sorry. But I was gonna say, as you've said about the estate tax, Matt, like the line here is like we need to have a 100% estate tax almost. It's
Absolutely.
like, here's the choice: you can have that, or you can have more Instagram poets.
Yeah. Like, how do you not just go to the holler of Kentucky or wherever and just play that video of him and say, your children are going to have untreated diabetes and die young because we gave this guy $500 billion for fancy hats. And they're going to have to make people confronted, because that is the choice. We're taking money away from people who desperately need it so that this fucking wad can paddle around Milan and pretend to be a fashion designer. I mean, but the
paddle
reason we're-
literally. He's gonna be like a dugong.
Yeah.
And go through the
Flop around.
canals.
Yeah. But like the reason
paddle
I was
through
a
the
young
canals in his giant shirt.
As a
canals are
young
in
boy,
Venice.
I was inspired by Augustus Gloop's transportation methods. But my dad bought Venice and filled the rivers with chocolate.
The reason that we allow this is because we allow this kind of horrible inequality in America. It's because we have the myth of like wealth creation is like this Nietzschean conquest where you're proving yourself to be the ultimate human by conquering capitalism, and how that results in this class of just sort of human gods, practically like Randian superheroes. But all it really means is that wealth gets passively handed down to people who get progressively stupider and lazier and more worthless. Like there's dads are fucking inherit fail son shitheads too. And like that needs to be more emphasized. That's what allowing wealth inequality actually is. It's allowing guys to build like vanity clothing outfits or pet hotels or but billboards that say "Who's my special guy" on them for idiot children of privilege.
I just to go back to the shirt a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep going back to the
Looks
shirt.
like a fam.
You know what I was thinking? what I like about it is like most brands for fat guys are like, finally a refined, a dignified outfit. For you. And this one, they're trying it the same way where it's like you can look suave on your yacht, in charge in your boardroom when your dad takes you to work and lets you pack your own lunch. But the designs, it's like, does somebody want little cupcakes on his shirt? Like they're just like the shirts are like mocking the fat rich guys that buy them.
Yeah, because I can imagine a video where it's a Miami Vice style shot, like Michael Mann, late, like a witching hour moment of or a golden hour moment of like a cigarette boat in a harbor with a guy standing on the prow with sunglasses. Only he's wearing that outfit and they're playing the Pina Colada song.
Yeah. It's the Michael. They do Miami Vice too, and they play like Mogwai and shit, like really cool music when Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx are getting off the boat. But then the drug dealer is Wyatt. And they're playing like the Elephant Walk,
Or that just like that really slow tuba music that they play in reality TV.
Yeah. And he's like, "Hey guys, I have the drugs. My dad got you presents." And he gives them both copies of The Road to Serfdom.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But like, okay, so these guys are old. The Koch brothers are old shit. They know they're going to die. They're not tech guys, so they don't believe they're going to become robots or whatever. They know they're going to die. And so they're accumulating all this wealth and they're doing all of this stuff to intervene in politics to assure that they keep getting all this wealth and doing all this stuff to prevent us from doing anything about global warming because so much of their money is in natural gases and oil. They're doing all of this to acquire as much money as possible. Not for them because they're going to be dead soon, but because they want to pass it off and they think that that's sort of some immortality. And that's so horrifyingly delusional. The idea that you would allow the world to literally burn just so that your fucking fat fancy lad child can finger paint in the fucking ashes.
Speaking of other,
it shows that they're good parents.
If you went to the holler and showed everyone that, I mean, all the MAGA chuds are gonna think, "Oh, this guy really triggers the libs. I'm gonna get one of those shirts."
Yeah, I know.
That's gonna be a fun new
Of
trend.
course.
I mean,
That's what they
no
say.
one in the holler.
Yeah, they'll grease it with animal fat and use it to like patch the holes in their tin roofs.
Well, no one in the holler fucking votes. But if you went to like Trump's real base in the suburbs and showed people that, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's just trying to make shirts, and it really offends the libs." Like, yeah, no, that. You could really get them to. You could get them to go to like a Bushwick performance art space. You could get them to like anything that sucks.
Yeah, which is fun. Like that's kind of like the one tool that you have to make their lives somewhat more miserable.
Yeah, well, that's all we have now.
If you
in the
showed
twilight of America, all we have is the ability to just poke the people we don't like in the fucking head.
And then they'll all wear those shirts, and then anti-racists will market their own shirts that are just also egregiously ugly, but have like
You have, like,
dollar
line on
signs
them.
with a cross on it.